Hi everyone, this is Jason Zach from Nathaniel School of Music. In this lesson, we are going to study, use, unlock, discover, and learn the theory of arguably the most powerful chord that music has to offer. It's this one. Any idea what it is? Might have guessed it. It's the diminished 7th chord. Very similar to a diminished chord. We are adding the 7th. Okay, and that's the flavor. Not to be confused with the minor 7th flat 5, which is more used in a 2-5-1 jazz context, in the jazz minor. So if you have to vote for one chord to win the contest of which is the most powerful of them all, I think this is the one. Okay, it has endless resolutions with just one shape, or endless journeys. You can take a 7th chord and just a diminished 7th chord and move it to so many different key centers, to so many different chords. You can reimagine so many scales with the diminished 7th chord. So I'll give you the basic theory, but the main goal of this lesson is to give you two drills, a climbing up drill and a climbing down drill. Okay, so before we get started, it'll be nice if you can consider getting my handwritten notes on Patreon. You'll also get MIDI files and a study guide, and not just for this alone, but everything that we have ever done on our YouTube channel. And also consider hitting that subscribe button and turn on the bell for regular notifications. That's literally the only way you can help this particular channel grow. So get your books out, get your pianos out, and let's get cracking. So first off, the formation of the diminished 7th chord. If I take the B diminished 7th, it has a interesting pattern. There are a minor third. What's this? Another minor third. Another minor third. Well, another minor third. So it's literally minor thirds stacked against each other, on top of each other. So what does that mean? They can all be inversions of each other, and in total you just have to learn 3 of them. So you take the B diminished 7th, it's also equivalent to D diminished 7th, which is the same as F diminished 7th, which is also very similar to A flat diminished 7th. And you just have to move forward with 3 of them. So you have this, drop down a chromatic, and you get the family of diminished 7ths, 4 of them starting on B flat, B flat, D flat, E, G. And then you move up by 1 and you get the family starting from C. C diminished 7th, E flat, F sharp, A. And that's all 12 played right now so quickly. It's literally the easiest chord to teach, at least for me. So 3 of them exist in music and all their inversions. You can also consider the diminished 7th chords as the stack of the diminished 7th in the right hand, but with a different bass in the left hand. So for example, if you play an E, it becomes an E7 flat 9. And diminished 7ths come along with minor thirds, but 2 minor thirds make up a tritone, right? So E's tritone in the left hand would be B flat, and you get B flat 7 flat 9. So you get all these chords. You can even get a G7 flat 9 and its tritone. D flat 7 flat 9. That's 4 7 flat 9 chords just by knowing one diminished 7th chord. How cool is that? Okay, and another thing to practice and understand with diminished 7th chords, and while we are understanding it, yes, write it down. You can pause the video, write it in your book, but also play it on the piano or your keyboard along with me. And after the lesson, there will be a supporting app which you can use to practice this to eternity with every single variation under the sun. So I'll share that with you later. Stay tuned till the end. So you can have a B diminished 7th, which will resolve if you consider B as the leading tone. The leading tone is the major 7th, or the 7th note of the major scale. This will end up going to C. So on its own, it just sounds, very uncertain. But if you know your theory, What did I just sing? I sang B diminished 7, oh, hey, hey, oh, and resolved it to the C major chord. See, it was almost meant to go there, but it just feels a bit unknown at the time, at least. The other door this can open is da-da, or da-da. It can also go to C major's relative minor. What is C major's relative minor? A minor. La-da. Again, it feels like it was just designed to be that way, right? But it also goes to C major. That's what's very cool about this chord. So many paths, so many destinations with just one source. So, la-da. And if I just put this together with a basic melody, la da 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 la da 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 do, la da 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 do da da da, la da 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 do. I can keep cycling, or maybe to the minor, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. It's also the connections. La da le re la da la da. See, so many resolution points, right? So practice resolving it to the major or the relative minor using this concept called leading tone diminished cadence. So if you take this D diminished 7th, ironically it's the same notes as B diminished 7th, D, but it's the leading tone of the E flat major. So what is E flat major's relative minor? Da, da. So again, one chord and now 8 resolution points. It's very tough to really keep a track of what's going on, to be honest. So la da, la da, and then if you take la da, again, it was just meant to go there too. La da da de de do 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 do, or la da do 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 do. Yeah, G flat and E flat, the relative minor major concept. Now, if you take G sharp diminished 7th, which is again part of this set of, or these 4 cousins. See? Na, na. And if you see my notes, it's the same notes, folks. It's just B, D, F, A flat jumbled. You don't even have to jumble it. You can play. It just works. So that's a lot of resolution points. So as a teacher like me keeps talking, it just branches out. You're starting with one and it just spreads almost like a virus. So coming to 2 drills just to plan things on our piano as we normally do in this channel. Drill number 1 is going to focus on climbing up, and drill number 2 is going to focus on climbing down. And I encourage you to see the notation of all these variations. You'll get our study materials on Patreon. So I'm going to start with the chord B flat 7th, which is B flat dominant, B flat, D, F, A flat. The trick here is move the bass or the lower note or the root of the chord up by 1 chromatic step, and you get your diminished 7th chord. And what does that do? Resolves, like how we discussed earlier. But what's nice about the drill is you will get dominant, diminished 7th, major, or else minor also. So this concept could work on any dominant 7th chord. Let's take a C 7th, C, E, G, B flat, go up a semitone or a half step, C sharp diminished 7th, and then go up another step. You'll get yourself the major. So or minor. Okay. So that was drill number 1. Drill number 2 would basically be descending. So you will start with a chord G sharp diminished 7th. Now here's what you do. You are starting with the diminished 7th. which is a stack of minor thirds. Drop the root down by 1. You get the dominant 7th, right? Dominant 7th up by 1 gives you diminished. Diminished down by 1 gives you dominant. And now you have to test your dominant resolution skill. And it resolves to C there. So let's pick another diminished 7th chord, maybe C diminished 7th. That's the 3-chord set. C diminished 7th, B dominant 7th, E major or else E minor. So what I like about the diminished 7th and the dominant concept is they don't really care much about scales or ragas or patterns of notes. It's like telling us that the chords are now beyond the notes of the scale. Usually we form chords from the scale, but why do you need the scale when you just have a chord as awesome as this? So you could have a completely different approach towards your musicianship, probably starting off with this chord. And there are a lot of composers like Barry Harris, who's a great educator as well, who propels this chord a lot in his lectures. And he's no more, but you should definitely see some of his amazing, insightful, lectures on diminished usage. He also forms diminished scales using these concepts. So in a nutshell, you could use the diminished 7th chord as a leading diminished cadence to resolve all over the place. You could also treat it as a rootless dominant 7th chord. You can just basically look at all these stacks, and all of that will be dominant 7th chords. Also, this is a symmetrical chord, so they are literally inversions of each other, a stack of minor thirds or 2 tritones apart. So they have a lot of similarities, and as you saw in this lesson, a lot of destinations. You have one source or one starting point, and it just goes all over the place. I don't think any other chord has this power in music. So that's about it. On the piano, if you'd like me to focus on more lessons covering diminished chord usage, let me know in the comments. And if you'd like a link to an app that we've built to practice diminished 7th chords and their families and their variations all in one with some good playback, check out the description or just write us in the comments, and we'll share it with you as well. You can also reach out to our course advisor via the form or the email IDs in the description and customize a semester at our school if you'd like to learn music in a very structured way. You might have just stumbled on this lesson, but we will do this in an organized manner if you do a course at Nathaniel. Okay, thanks a ton for watching this. This is Jason from Nathaniel School of Music. Cheers.